Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have hard rock band Horizon Theory.
How you doing?
When you've got nowhere to go, when you've lost your soul and everyone you know, when you scream inside no more, locked behind these unchained doors, that feeling again, burning inside. You ripped out your heart to keep you alive. Don't understand, you're feeling with hate. You're gone with the wind and it's too late. By and by.
I wanted to start out. Could we just go around the room and you give your name and what instrument you play?
I'm Josh. I'm the singer.
I'm Jeff, and I play the drums.
Chris, guitar.
Okay. And how did you guys get into music? Was there a band, or you like a guitar player, or what inspired you to get into music in the first place?
For me, my dad was kind of always in and out of bands, cover bands, and that when I was a young kid. Had an uncle kind of in and out of bands, classic rock bands, country bands. You're playing at VFW halls and bars. So that for me, and then Ozzy Osbourne, pretty much. He's the one who he stole my heart at an early age, and ever since then.
Was there a specific song that you heard by Ozzy?
Oh man, when I was young, I mean all of them. When I was a kid, I was in the back seat as small as I can remember. Car seat, jamming Ozzy, singing every word. So, and I still do the same song. So really, all of it, man, just the whole, all of it. Blizzard of Oz, I think was that was a good one for me. I mean, they're all good. They're all my favorites. So.
For me, my dad was a drummer. He had the drum set up downstairs, so I just kind of picked them up when I was a little kid. Grandpa was a drummer. Got drumming on both sides of my parents' families, so I just kind of took to it like a fish to water. So, and then really, it was like what kept it going was. I guess, MTV, I don't know. It was just something, music was just always around the house. It was always something that was in the family. So, that's what really got me into it. And then just, I guess I played a talent show in 4th grade and I got a standing ovation. So I was hooked from that. It's like, all right, I love it. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much my story.
Yeah, I guess I was one of the first songs that I ever heard. I think that really caught my ear for guitar was actually Ozzy Osbourne. Zakk Wylde, "No More Tears." That solo in that song is to this day still one of the best solos ever. And I don't know, something about his playing. It just it made me start to pay attention to guitar. And I always kind of was intrigued by it and always listened to the guitar and music throughout my life. But it wasn't until later on, about I was probably 19 or 20 years old, I got a video game called Guitar Hero, and started like playing that nonstop and just got hooked on it. And that was kind of my introduction into guitar, was a video game. And I was playing like Sweet Child of Mine and Dragon Force and all that stuff on that video game. And I thought, man, this would be cool to be able to do on a real guitar. So that's, after that, at some point I bought one and just I got obsessed with it. And that was probably 15, 16 years ago now. So.
I noticed, being like a guitar player, when I played like Guitar Hero, it was not the same. I couldn't like register it with my fingers with the buttons and stuff.
Yeah, I'm probably still better at Guitar Hero than the real guitar. So I don't know. I got really good at the video game, and then, but yeah, it's obviously totally different. But I think it's a cool tool to get kids into, music and real guitars, and a lot of kids know the classic rock songs because it was on Guitar Hero or Rock Band, whereas they would have never even heard it or known who those artists were. So I think it's a cool way to keep people into it.
Yeah, for them to discover new music.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of your musical influences?
Ooh, man, everybody. We just did an interview yesterday, and I had to throw out my Boys II Men. I'm a big R&B fan. Ozzy, obviously, Bullet for My Valentine. Yeah, these guys get a kick out of it. But, I'm a singer at heart, so I love to sing all kinds of shit, man. I mean, if it feels good, I sing it. If it touches me, I'm into it. So really everything. Bullet, Ozzy, Pantera, Megadeth, Iron Maiden. Tesla is one of my favorite bands of all time. Right now I'm big into, I've been listening to a lot of Tremonti and Alter Bridge, stuff like that. In my high school days, when Shine Down and that was coming out, Shine Down, a little bit of Godsmack here and there, stuff like that,
I'd say for me, it was, definitely classic rock. I was a big Ringo Starr fan growing up. My uncle was a big Beatles fan, so Ringo Starr, John Bonham, Zeppelin was great. Tommy Lee was a beast back in the 80s. Will Calhoun from Living Colour. A lot of stuff like that growing up. But then, as I got older, more of the heavier rock metal drummers, Abe Cunningham from the Deftones is a big influence. Vinnie Paul, Dave Aberuzzi from Pearl Jam. He's not with them anymore, but he was a big influence. Probably why I have so many cymbals. But guys like that. I'm very groove power oriented kind of guy. But kind of like what Josh was saying, I do like R&B. I do like Motown. Funk. Funk drumming is really fun, and it's pretty powerful. But as I grew up,
What about like odd time signatures and stuff like that?
well, I do like odd time signatures as far as
listening,
I guess, yeah. But I'm more of kind of the Jeff Porcaro kind of mindset of I'm not really, it's great, but I guess it's whatever fits the song. I'm not trying to just showboat and put in, odd time signatures just for the fun of it. But if it feels right, then yeah, go for it. But Danny Carey, yeah, he's an odd time signature guy, so I like that. But yeah, it's just whatever's the right fit for the song. So, but those are my guys.
Yeah, I would say, I grew up on classic rock, so like I listen to AC/DC, Ozzy Osbourne, Motley Crue, all that stuff in, the late 80s, early 90s, and then Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, loved all that stuff. As far as like modern stuff, I would say probably, Bullet for My Valentine, Bring Me the Horizon, All That Remains, Under Oath. I'm really into a lot of that stuff. So just kind of all over the place.
Okay. How did the band form?
Well, we just kind of, mutual friends, really.
Tinder.
Tinder, mutual friends. So Chris and Lewis, our bass player, who actually lives in LA, that's why he's not here right now. He'll be here in the next 2 weeks for rehearsal before we head out on tour. But they were in a previous band together, did some touring for quite a few years, and they respectively kind of all went on, did their own thing, and they kind of stuck together, and we're looking for a singer and a drummer and like a project deal for a while. A mutual friend of ours, Jordan, he hit me up. And Jordan knew Chris, he knew me, he knew Jeff. Jeff and I are in other bands, around, and we kind of
Jordan's actually the bass player of our other band.
Both band. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, or it was, but yeah, it's pretty wild. So
we live in a small town.
Yeah. And so next thing you know, we just kind of all got hooked up, and from day one, man, everything started clicking, and it's been it's been a tidal wave, and we've been riding it this whole time. We're gonna keep riding it till it crashes. It's been great.
I kind of weaseled my way into the group. I knew they needed a drummer at one point. Yeah. And so I just kind of dropped a few hints. Oh yeah, I'll come hang out and jam, no big deal. But I really had a lot of respect for Chris and Lewis from their other band as far as their musicianship. I looked at Lewis as he's a very phenomenal bass player, and for a drummer, that was big for me. I always wanted to at least jam with him once or twice, just to kind of see how it would feel. But as far as Chris, he gives me all the room to just lock in with the groove on his riffs and everything. And so I was like, here, I'll come out and hang out for a minute, but
planting seeds is what he was doing. Planting seeds.
It worked out. He came out to track some demos, and then we just hung out and watched some football and whatever. And it was like, it got to the point where a week later, I just said, hey, do you want to be more of a part of this thing than just, helping us out? And he's like, hell yeah, let's do it. So that's kind of how it happened. Yeah. And it's worked out. It's pretty cool because, we're all within, aside from Lewis, we're all within 20, 30 miles of each other here in the middle of nowhere, mid-Michigan. And everybody has just clicked musically so well right out of the gate. Like when we record something, I never go back and say, I never have to like, oh, we should change the drums here. It's not really working. Or I don't have to go to Lewis and say, bass line doesn't work. Like we just, it just clicked. And it's like, I'll send them a riff and they'll track drums and bass on it, and it just works. And we don't have to change anything or critique or do anything. And so like what you hear in our music really for the most part is when you hear a song that we put out up until now, at least, it's been the very first thing we recorded. Like whether it be drums or bass, it was like just instinct, like this is how I would play this. And then we're like, yeah, that works. That's cool. Let's do it. And so it's just, clicked musically really well for all of us.
How did you come up with the name for the band?
I don't remember. Yeah, it was
that's you.
I can't really remember.
You and Lewis?
Yeah, we tossed around 50,000 ideas, and every one of them were taken already. So I can't remember how this came about.
As a musician, your whole life you're thinking of band names. You know what I mean?
And they're all taken.
Always thinking of and they're all taken. With social media now, it's like you type it in and you're bound to find 1, 2, or 3 of those
Yeah.
names, you know.
So
Well, I think the meaning of it really would be like, from, because the band that I'm in and whatever, but we went, we kind of had some lineup changes and this, that, and the other. And, Chris and Lewis, doing their own thing. It was basically, the premise of the name Horizon Theory being, we're looking forward.
Yeah,
The horizon is where we're going.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a moving forward, not looking back, don't live in the past type shit. So it's, it's that really the meaning behind it.
There's actual meaning for Horizon Theory if you look it up, and it does fit right along with.
And I think it's
everything that we're doing, and what we mean as a band, how we formed, our thought process moving forward. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool, really. And we feel like it. When I heard these guys kind of thought of it, and I heard of it, they sent it to me, and I'm like, they'd already sent me 5 or 6 names, and I'm like, fuck yeah, that one. And then if there's a better one, I'm like, yeah, that one. No, that one. I really like that one, but I'm good for whatever. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of how that went, sort of, for me anyway.
Yeah.
What city are you based out of?
Blanchard.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Blanchard, Michigan.
We'll say Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
We all circle around it. Jeff lives in it. It's Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll say. Yeah.
Now, what about the music scene in your area?
There's a lot of local bands. There's a lot of local bands. There's a lot of bands. There's kind of a scene, quite a scene around here in Michigan in general.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, when I say meh, it's not that there's not a lot of great bands. There's just not a lot of venues. Like where we live, there's one music venue, right? I mean, there's nothing.
One actual venue, or you're driving an hour, or
there's one venue
away.
And other than that, you have to drive hours away on the highway. So, the music scene, there's a lot of bands and a lot of talent, a ton of talent, but just, it'd be nice if we had a few more venues in town. But it works and everybody gets out and plays, and there's a lot of talent around here, which is, just random for a small town like this, but
yeah.
Okay. I wanted to talk about your song you just released, Nowhere to Go. And starts out with like guitar picking, and then it kicks in the chorus. And then there's kind of like a rapping part in the bridge section. Can you tell me how you did you like design that when you first came into the studio, or did you put together those pieces as you were working in the studio and stuff?
Well, we kind of had a demo of the song laid out. It's been a year or 2 years ago, something like that. We kind of laid it out, kind of half-assed. Chris had some guitar riffs on there, chorus, bridge, verse type thing, and I come in and kind of laid some vocals on it. As far as the kind of rappy verse in that, and the call and response during the chorus, that was just kind of random. We revisited the song because we knew it was something we wanted to put out as soon as we laid it down as a demo. We knew it was something we wanted to put out sometime down the road. We didn't want it being a more emotional song, more of a ballady song. We didn't want that to be like our first, second song out. We wanted to kind of come out and put some bangers out there, some heavier stuff. So we revisited this, and when we did the rap, that's when we kind of put the rap vocals in there. And it was just kind of out of the blue. Chris is like, we're trying to come up with something. The vocals that we had, the melody that we had throughout the verse to the chorus to the next verse was it was good when you first hear it, but after you listen to something for a while, that's when you kind of start to it's a little monotonous, And so it was getting like that, and Chris had kind of come up with the idea, what if you tried some kind of like a rap verse or like a talking type verse, kind of like we did in our first song, Past Life, the beginning of Past Life. We kind of had that in the first verse. Past Life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we kind of put that little twist on it. And Jeff and I sat here for about 10 or 15 minutes, and we just kind of come up with the melody and some words that kind of made sense, that was kind of still made sense to the song. It was still true to the song and true to what we were trying to portray in the song. And it worked. And then Chris kind of did his magic on the chorus with the call and response. And when he did that, it just set it right off. At least for me, it set the chorus right off,
Yeah, we needed something. We had 3 choruses in this, and they're really big, like anthemic, open vocal choruses, which are great. But when you just have that a bunch of times, by the 3rd time, there's nothing exciting about it. So I thought we'll do like take part of the 2nd verse, throw it into the little spots in the choruses where it's like a call and response on the 2nd one, and then on the 3rd one do the same thing, but then throw in like a little guitar lead thing, which creates like a constant progression in the song. So that if you went back and listened to the original demo of this, which was the first song I ever recorded with Josh here in the studio, it's much better now. Like you would be, by the 3rd chorus in our original demo, you're bored. You're like, oh, it's the same thing over and over. So I feel like, in that 4.5 minutes, we did just enough to keep it exciting from start to finish, or different. Yeah. So
I wanted to kind of stay relevant too. What could we do to kind of stay relevant with what's going on, and kind of, I don't want to say our scene, but the genre ish or whatever that we're kind of in, or however you want to put that. But we just wanted it to be, we don't want to cater to just one group of people. We don't want to be stuck in one lane. We thought, you don't know how it sounds till you do it. You can always hit record, try it, loop it over and just see what it sounds like. You know what I mean? And for this song, that just worked out great.
It's like if Alice in Chains rapped. It's like,
yeah.
So it's like, it's got the Alice in Chains kind of like grunge or whatever ballad thing happening, and then it goes to this rap. What I liked was it's so unexpected, because you would never expect kind of a rap verse in there, and it's it's one of those things we just try to we try not to do the same thing every time, do things a little different, and kind of show our musical versatility. So yeah, it worked out pretty good.
I think the cool thing about the song is, with the first verse, it's just kind of telling the story, and then when it comes into that rap part, it makes it very personal, in my opinion, because it just kind of, it brings it into the person, into self, and you're like, I think that's we've got a lot of feedback on it, that it's really touched a lot of people, in a positive manner. But I think that's kind of the cool thing about it, is that it's not just, singing a song. It makes it into a personalized story. Yeah, exactly. It gives it, it's kind of that Eminem Stan type thing, but
it puts you in their shoes, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can kind of step into that role almost. You're like, oh, I felt like that. I know the feeling or whatever. But I think that's one thing about it that's really cool to me, is how it breaks it up.
We've always talked about that too. How we don't want to do we could, but with what we're trying to do, we want our music to really mean something, have meaning, have an impact on people's lives, connect with people. And so lyrics, are really the way you do it. Like, if you can tell a story in a few minutes of a song, and by the end of it, someone's in tears or just really emotional or feeling something that, they didn't realize they were going to. Like, that's just, that's something that it's tough to do with music. But when you do pull it off, it's just really a cool thing. And we've all done, in all of our other bands, we've all done the stuff of just, super heavy songs with a bunch of scream vocals and stuff. And like, it never really has that thing. And that was something I loved, about a lot of bands like Pearl Jam or Nirvana or, Alice in Chains, like that. They kind of, when that whole era started, they were telling stories with their songs and really connecting with people. And I feel like that style of music comes and goes a lot. And you'll go through periods maybe of 10 years where, you don't have anybody putting out music like that or in that style really. So that was something we wanted to do with this band, is make sure all of our songs have lyrics that mean something. Our vocals we've got clean vocals where you can hear the words and actually tell what he's saying, a lot, so I think that, we're doing what we wanted to do, and it's exciting. We love our music, which is cool. It's hard to, as a musician, actually be a fan of your own stuff.
There's an
And
emotion
so,
in the lyrics.
yeah, I find myself listening to our music a lot, which, I've never done before, and with my other stuff. So it's cool.
Took a shot of this cold gin, one sip and I feel like my heart's not broken. I try to fight through the bad day, but the pain is a drug that I overdose slowly. I feel like I don't know me. This bottle in my hand got me feeling so lonely. Drugged out and stumbling, fumbling, the thought of my life just crumbling. Gotta go, gotta get away, but I know that I got nowhere to fucking stay. This time I won't play. Oh please God, just give me one more day. One sip and I feel like my heart's not broken. This feeling inside, it's left you to die. No dignity. But the pain is a drug that I overdose slowly. Drained, tired, this cold gin. One sip and I feel like my heart's not broken. This feeling inside, it's left you to die. No dignity. But the pain is a drug that I overdose slowly.
Yeah, I feel like in that part where you sang the chorus and the rapping part, like you could feel the pain in that song.
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly we're trying to do with all the songs really, and what we're trying to convey. Yeah. And Chris really brings that out of me the most when we're in here recording. I might do a take 100 times, and we think it's good, and then we listen to it for a week or two, and we come back and we're like, and get in there, and then all of a sudden, fucking boom, first shot, and it's like, that's it. It's like, that's where the emotion was. It wasn't fake. It wasn't forced trying to do something, just because it's new. And so, Chris brings that out in me.
It's our own Ross Robinson.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, it's something that like if you've got an ear for music or whatever, like when we leave, we'll send a demo to each other that we just tracked, and we don't even get home yet. Him and I, Josh and I, are calling each other saying, "Hey, you know what? This is sweet, but we need to do something here." And usually we both heard it. So we'll be heading home in our trucks, and then we'll play the song, and man, it's sweet, but that one verse, or if we need to redo that chorus. And that's something that's really cool about having our own studio set up where we can record, is we're never stuck to any one thing. We didn't go somewhere and record with a producer and leave a week later, and whatever we did, and we're stuck with that for the rest of our life. You know what I mean? Like, we can come back a year later. This newest song, Nowhere to Go, we tracked that originally 2 years ago. And had we done that at someone else's studio and paid someone to produce that, we would have never had that rap verse, because that wasn't our first instinct. And it took us 2 years to kind of come to a place where we were thinking more outside the box with the vocals. So, that's a cool thing that we're able to do.
Yeah, I think you should try everything, like whatever idea you should try, and just see if it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't.
Right. you have a million stems on these things. You can always hit record and delete anytime you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of feel the same way. You know.
What do you have planned for this year?
Well, we have a pretty big tour coming up with Orgy and Cold. It kicks off April 11th in Chicago, and we're doing it's a whole North American tour. I believe we got 37 dates, 37 dates in roughly 6 weeks. Our last show is we head out April 11th to Chicago. Our last show is May 25th in Minnesota. And we're hitting all the major cities, West Coast, the whole Southern Coast, East Coast, and back. So it's a pretty big deal for us. We also have, I believe, March. We're putting out what do you call it, an EP?
Yeah,
in March.
March 4th.
March 4th.
It's all of the songs that we've put out already combined into an EP. But we basically did that so that we could create a physical album to sell on this upcoming tour. So we're combining all of our stuff into it's called the Astronomer EP. And then those will be added to also the full length album, which should be out this fall. But so we've got this tour with Cold and Orgy. And then we get back from that and we've got like a 3-week break. And then we head to,
Connecticut.
Thompson, Connecticut for Capulet Fest, which is going to be super cool. We played it last year, got kind of hit with bad weather last year. The rain really hurt. We got a lot of rain, so turnout wasn't awesome because of that. But this year we've got, the lineup is so sick this year. I don't think it would even matter. They announced Skillet today. So we got Skillet. We're playing Saturday on the main stage at, I think, 4 or 4:30 p.m. Yeah. It's going to be really cool. We got Red, Red. Who was it? Adelita's Way.
Nothing More, Adelita's Way.
Yep.
Was it August Burns Red?
August Burns Red is headlining Friday. The day we play Saturday, the headliner's Skillet.
Actually, Cold will be there.
Yeah. Cold.
Taproot,
yep.
A bunch of good bands. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 day. It's a 3-day festival.
Yeah, we're playing, I think, June 29th. So we'll come back from this tour. We'll go play that festival, and then we're looking at some tours for fall. So we'll just see.
Okay. How can we get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram?
All of it.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
Yep. Facebook, Instagram.
I think we got a website.
TikTok.
We do. We have a TikTok. Yeah, we got a TikTok. We don't have a Tinder. So Facebook or Instagram is what we're on mostly.
And it's just Horizon Theory.
Yes.
Yeah. We might start a Only Bands.
Only Bands. Oh, shit. Yeah.
That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, man. Tour kicks off in April 11th in Chicago. Cold and Orgy and Ayutthaya. I believe they're from Norway, right? Or something like that. I'm not positive.
I think Chicago now, but I think
Oh, really? Okay, maybe the singer's
from Poland or something like that.
Poland, yeah, possibly. Who knows? Yeah. Kicks off in Chicago, April 11th. Hope to see you there, man.
Yeah.
I can't take any